What if your buddy Macro invited you to create your own legend and present them to an Apex developer for feedback? And because you are you come up with a movement legend. And what if a solo game developer then messaged you about creating a working prototype for that movement legend? Would be pretty awesome, right? That's exactly what happened to me. What is awesome as well is that I will be able to pay that solo developer very handsomely for this project because I got a sponsor for today's video, which is Buff. Buff is an app that lets you earn free rewards simply by playing your favorite games like Apex Legends or Valorant. And they recently even added Minecraft. It's really simple. You download Buff for free like 5 million others already did, you play the game, earn Buff points and exchange those for game keys, gift cards or even gaming hardware, and they pay for it by showing ads and people signing up for their premium model. Buff is also based on the Overwolf platform, which is officially supported and approved by the game publishers. And Buff recently started sponsoring NRG, one of the biggest names in esport. So there's a lot of big name backing behind it. Since Buff works by simply running in the background, I tested running Apex with and without Buff and could see no change in FPS or perceptible input lag. If you sign up to Buff with my personal link in the description or pinned comment in June, you get an extra 70 Buff points instead of just the usual 30. So do that now instead of missing out. Thanks so much to Buff for sponsoring today's video. So here we have Fuchs, which is German for fox. When you think of how a fox can move around, this seemed quite fitting to me for a fast and nimble close quarters legend. He's German because I'm German and cause I had this idea for the lore that he went to the same German military school as Richter, one of the Apex Predator mercenaries and bosses of Titanfall 2. Fuchs later heard about Valkyrie, the daughter of another mercenary, Viper, joining the Apex games, which motivated him to do the same. The look of Fuchs is just a Titanfall 2 face pilot I took the helmet off, put Valkyrie's jump pad on the back and gave him a colored jumpsuit. This is what I presented to Brian, the Apex developer. If you want to hear his feedback on it, you can check out the original video, linked in the description. Zodi then took that and developed the prototype for it, which I have to give a huge thank you for. I will link to his gaming channel down below. Please visit that and leave some nice words. There is also no affiliation with EA, Respawn or Apex Legends and no intention to make this prototype publicly available in any shape or form. And please don't judge the viability of Fuchs solely based on what you see on screen. You can't compare the feeling of a finished legend to a proof of concept built by a solo developer in a different engine in a fraction of the time it takes to develop and polish a real legend. The core design of Fuchs revolves around his dash ability, the concept of which is very similar to a jet dash from Valorant. Here's how that looks like in the prototype. For dashing, we can decide between two variants. Variant A is click to dash, which gives you 2 quick dashes that don't keep your velocity. These are especially great for repositioning close to the ground. They would allow you to extend out of cover, get some shots off and then disappear into cover again or get onto overhangs. Very similar to how Pathfinder can swing around them. I even created casting animations for his dash with a forward, backward, left and right animation. How fast these casting animations are and thereby the resulting instant mobility would be a major balancing factor. In my mind it would have to be somewhere between a jet animation and Ray's face animation to strike a nice balance between feeling satisfying to use but not insanely frustrating to play against. And if you are able to sprint during the casting animation and after dashing, together with the speed at which you can pull out your weapon again would be additional balancing tools. The same as they have been for Loba's tactical, for example. The second way to dash would be hold to dash. That's why I based all of his hand animations on the same base pose, so you can hold that and then decide in which direction you want to dash. The hold to dash only gives you one dash, but you do keep the momentum out of it. Imagine it like a small octane jump pad. This is perfect to escape down hills and would be a great way to combine it with other movement tech. His dashing direction, being a combination of view direction and movement input, would also allow for a backwards dash up into the air. So we have 2 dashes. Click for 2 smaller dashes that don't keep your momentum and hold for a bigger dash that does keep your momentum. This makes his dash very versatile in its application, from a simple A to B 2-dimensional dash to a bit of a 3-dimensional repositioning tool. But if you take into consideration that you won't have your gun out during the animation, and compare it to the utility of a grapple or Horizon's Lift, I don't think his dash would be overpowered. Subscribing to the channel would be overpowered. Where Fuchs's dash gets really interesting is with his ultimate. I had some worries when creating his ultimate. First, about creating a movement character that's too self-centered, or has a random team-focused ability that then doesn't fit his theme. And I think I found a great solution to this, in major part due to a nice chat with Mug on my Discord server, where we extensively talked about the nuances. Activating Fuchs's ultimate gives you 5 dashes, and using them leaves behind a phase tunnel that others can use and travel along the same dash path you took. On one hand, this makes his ultimate a charged up version of his tactical, so a better 2-dimensional dash, or a better 3-dimensional repositioning tool. This way it can be completely self-centered. But with leaving behind the phase tunnel, it's also a great team-focused ability. Like, imagine sitting with your team below something and having to go above into cover, but having no way to get direct line of sight to where you want to go. Where with Fuchs you can just do this. And because it's a tunnel and not just a portal with an opening and end, it comes with some neat side effects. You can create the tunnel from a story further below, but then have teammates jump into it from further up, or use it as a trap to block off doorways, so enemies can't get out or are forced to take the tunnel when going out and be transported to the end section of it. How many dashes you get when activating his ultimate and how long each dash is would be a major thing in differentiating it from other team reposition abilities, like a Wraith Portal, Jump Pad or Ash Portal. In my mind, you would trade range for vertical 3D movement. I think that in this prototype, the range of his ultimate is a bit underwhelming, so either increase the dash length or give him more dashes, like 6, 7 or 8. With all this, I think this legend would make for some great skill expression. And now onto his passive Swift Slide, which I pretty much only defined as a better slide. In the prototype, we implemented it as a kinda ridiculous endless slide. My actual idea would be to decrease the time in between slides, or giving you a bigger boost in velocity out of a slide jump. Here's what that might look like if you got 600 velocity out of a slide jump instead of the usual 450. These are just ideas, but thanks to Apex Mobile and the new legend Faide, we now have an actual slide passive in the game. Faide gets a speed boost after a slide that also affects his sprint. And there is a cooldown, so you don't get it on every slide jump. That's not exactly what I had in mind for Fuchs, but it's proof that a slide speed boost passive isn't completely out of the ordinary. So let me know, what do you think about Fuchs now that you have seen him fully fleshed out? Is he overpowered or useless? Does he even fit into the game? I have an idea for another movement legend and will make a video about that. Oh, also, I will drop my very first merch soon. If you go to mokisniper.store, you can sign up to the notifications to know as soon as that is available. The link is also down below. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!